This is IGN. In 2024, we saw games where soldiers dove headfirst into alien planets to defend Earth. Princess Zelda led her very own legend. A little robot overcame impossible odds to rescue PlayStation's greatest characters, and a game of poker played out unlike anything else. There can be arguments for why any number of our best game of 2024 nominees could take home the crown. A stark contrast from last year where Baldur's Gate 3 and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom were locked-in favorites. The breadth of games on display means picking this year's winner was harder than usual, but ultimately there was one clear winner. It's time for IGN's Best Game of 2024. Before we announce our winner, we begin with the games that were oh so close to being crowned Game of the Year. Here were the runners-up. First, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Buoyed by Troy Baker's frankly insane portrayal of Harrison Ford's iconic archaeologist, The Great Circle feels like a dream come true for anyone who grew up enraptured by movies like The Last Crusade and Raiders of the Lost Ark. Indy was never a shoot-'em-up hero. Instead, he used his brains as well as his brawn to solve ancient riddles and punch out bad guys. And that's something Machine Games has wonderfully adapted here. Whether it's exploring the ancient catacombs of the Vatican or sneaking up on fascists and bonking them over the head, The Great Circle literally puts you into the dirt-caked shoes of Indiana Jones. And it turns out it's every bit as fun and exciting as we imagined. The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. Visually similar to the 2019 remake of The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, Echoes of Wisdom is very much a true Zelda game, complete with the classic puzzles and dungeons the series is known for. Its creators have clearly learned from more recent games in the series too, and even though Echoes of Wisdom is more of a classic Zelda experience, the freeform creativity of Breath of the Wild is present thanks to the Echoes mechanic that lets Zelda conjure whatever item and enemy she encounters, leading to all kinds of madcap solutions. Stuck on the other side of a ledge? Just stack a bunch of beds together to cross. Duh. Next up, Helldivers 2. Are you doing your part in the war to save our galaxy? If not, jump into Helldivers 2 and start blasting away at alien and robot scum. Arrowhead Game Studios delivered one of the new live service games of the year with the sequel to its isometric alien shooter. Reimagined as a squad-based third-person shooter, Helldivers 2 is both a satirical take on the military-industrial complex while also being an addictive blast thanks to its potent mix of high-powered weaponry, devastating orbital drop missiles, and a spirit of Earthian patriotism. Our next runner-up is Astrobot. This colorful, vibrant 3D platformer isn't just a showcase for the PS5's powerful GPU and fast SSD, because between the unbridled level of creativity in each level and the controller-stressing difficulty of some of the harder challenge runs, Astrobot is pure delight and wonderment. Every ability Astrobot plays around with, from inflating into a balloon or punching enemies with bungee fists, never fails to amuse even the most hardened gamer. I don't say this lightly, but PlayStation might have just found its answer to Nintendo's Mario. Next, Dragon Age: The Veilguard. After a brief interlude into the live service genre with games like Anthem, and a perhaps ill-advised attempt to rush out another Mass Effect game with Mass Effect Andromeda, BioWare's gone back to what it knows best. A good old-fashioned dungeon-crawling RPG full of delightful characters, witty dialogue, and the chance to create a character who looks and talks exactly the way you want them to. But while BioWare may have opted for a back-to-basics approach to storytelling, there is one area of major improvement: the combat. Balatro. A lot can be said about Balatro's addictive qualities and how it has this magnetic ability to get you to play just one more round. The reason for Balatro's rapid ascendancy is how it took one of America's oldest games and refashioned it for one of gaming's most popular genres, the roguelike. The combination of classic poker rules and randomized joker and tarot cards that augment your combos and bump up your high score so you can get to the next round is pure gaming bliss. Balatro is built on creating seemingly endless moments of elation and devastation in equal measures. All you have to do is play your cards right. Literally. And finally, The award for Best Game of 2024 goes to Metaphor ReFantazio. For years, Atlus's cult RPG Persona went from being a cool underground RPG series from Japan to one of the biggest franchises in modern gaming. But with Metaphor ReFantazio, it's clear the developers behind Persona were seeking to push themselves to new heights. Trading in the modern-day Japanese high school setting for a pure fantasy world full of long-eared knights and bat-like ninjas, Atlus's Studio Zero has created an incredible and timely meditation on political strife and demagoguery. After the death of the king, the United Kingdom of Uchronia, divided by racial prejudice among its citizens, begins the process of holding its very first popular election that kickstarts a grand cross-continental adventure. For anyone familiar with the Persona series, you'll find familiar hallmarks here. Players split their time crawling through difficult dungeons full of horrifying monsters, while spending free moments building up relationships with various party members and inhabitants around the country. But while Persona games took these quiet moments to reaffirm the virtues of youthful friendships, Metaphor uses these times to tackle headier questions like what defines a knight's duty or the responsibilities of those born into wealth. Can one ever heal from the pains of racism? And is religious tolerance a foolhardy endeavor? These aren't easy questions to address, but are asked plainly throughout Metaphor's 70-hour playtime. Wrap these philosophical musings in a stylish, turn-based RPG that looks and feels stupendous, complete with beautiful character designs from artist Shigenori Soejima and music from Shoji Meguro, and you'll quickly understand why Metaphor ReFantazio is IGN's pick for Best Game of 2024. So, congratulations Metaphor ReFantazio and Studio Zero, and also to all our other winners and runners-up in 2024's IGN Awards. My name is Tony Jackson. Be sure to check out our full list of award winners for Best Movie, TV Show, and more at IGN.com. And we'll see you again in 2025 for even more gaming goodness.
Spoken Layer.